Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another bonus episode of the Overcast. I am your host, Justin, aka Oversoul.
And I am your co host, Nick, aka the Vaping Fiend, and welcome to the Overcast.
Yes, yes, and we are bringing you sunshine on a cloudy day, like always. This is going to be a short but sweet bonus episode covering the PlayStation showcase that, at the time of recording this, happened earlier today.
Yes.
PlayStation did a little hour and 10 minutes showcase that was more or less like a much longer version of one of their state of plays.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about it because I want to say overall, I felt like the showcase was really good because even though there was a bunch of stuff in there that wasn't necessarily for me, there's a bunch of stuff that was, and I feel like overall they had a lot of diverse variety of games that they showed. Like, they were all over the map with the kind of stuff they showed, which means that no matter who you were, there was definitely something for you in there, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, there was something for everyone in this showcase. So I have a list in front of me. We're gonna go down it. We're gonna talk real quick about each of the things that they showed. You know, give our thoughts or whatnot, and whether or not these games are on our radar or not our cup of tea, but we still respect them and yada yada, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the first thing they showed before Jim Ryan even came on screen was a trailer for a game called Fair Games with a $sign at the end. Fair Games is Haven's, that's the developer's, first title, and it will be a competitive heist experience with emergent sandbox gameplay. Now, what that sounds like to me is Payday meets Saints Row. I got Saints Row vibes off the graphics, and a heist experience is basically the Payday games, or like some of the GTA Online stuff. So, with that in mind, not for me, but I do know some people who would probably play the hell out of this game. What do you think?
I might play it at some point. It looks interesting.
Might give it a try, huh?
Might give it a try, especially if it's online compatible.
I think it's going to be online exclusive.
Online exclusive, okay.
Yeah, it's a straight up multiplayer game.
The only way I would
It's
be
competitive.
able to, the only way I would be able to is if I could play in a private session with some friends.
Oh, I'm sure you could. Most multiplayer games have that. But considering it's a competitive heist game, you're gonna need a team. You're gonna need enough people to be the two teams. You know.
Oh yeah.
So okay. Next, after Jim Ryan came up and said his hellos, the next thing they showed was Helldivers 2. And what's interesting about this is that the first Helldivers was actually an isometric game, you know, like Diablo, and kind of maybe a little twin-stick shootery. This game takes a complete shift in perspective and is now a third-person shooter instead.
So
again, go ahead.
For Helldivers 2, I remember correctly, got a little bit of a Halo vibe, kinda.
I could see that, especially with them switching to the third-person perspective. Although Halo is in first person, but from the sci-fi setting and all that, I can definitely see that. That being said, though, I like the Halo games. Well, I did until Halo 4, and everything after that just kind of fell apart. But they used to be good. But this is not exactly my cup of tea.
No.
However,
No.
I do.
Either.
I do know that Sid Schumann from PlayStation sang the praises of the first game. Like, he loved it. He would not shut up
Survivors.
about it when it first came out. Yes. Yeah, so I'm sure... Oh, there's definitely an audience for this one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But again, though, it's still, like, visually impressive. I have
Oh
to say, like,
yes.
there probably wasn't a single game that they showed that didn't, to me, at least look visually impressive. Like, even if I'm
Mhm.
not going to play it, I have to give credit where it's due. The graphics are amazing. This entire showcase was visually pleasing to the eye to watch.
Yes, it
It
really
was,
was.
it was eye candy the whole time.
It was, especially that
um,
final trailer. But we'll get to
oh,
that.
yeah, yeah. Next, they got Immortals of Avium, which is EA's magical shooter.
Yeah, that
So
one
it's
gave me a lot of like that one gave me almost like World of Warcraft vibes.
it
Like
does have that atmosphere, I think, but
Immortals of Avium.
it's like if it was a it's an interesting concept because it's like a fantasy RPG setting, but it's also a first person shooter, but you're not using guns, you're using magic. So it's almost like if you were playing Skyrim exclusively a mage the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Which, like, so this one is on my maybe list. This one is on my, it's on my radar. I'm
Want to play
interested.
it.
I want to see more,
Me too.
before I make a decision.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely. The next thing they showed was Ghost Runner 2, which I can tell you, I tried to play the first Ghost Runner. It is very hard. So with that
Really.
in mind, I'm probably not going to play this one, but this is an evolution of those runner games, like those games you play on your phone where the character's just running and you have to like dodge obstacles as they're running. This
Yeah.
is a step up from that. That's what the first Ghost Runner was. You're like running, doing parkour, and killing enemies as you're going, but it is unforgiving. There is like no room for error, and I do not have
Jeez.
I don't have the patience for that. So,
Eight.
I mean, I it's definitely there's an audience for that challenge. I'm not that audience, but again, though, visually impressive. It looks like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It's got some real nice sci-fi graphics. I just I can't get into games where I feel like I'm just constantly failing over and over again. There are people who like that. Those games, they're called roguelikes or Soulsborns. This is not that though. This is our runner game. It's just a very
Mhm.
hard runner game.
Right.
The next thing they showed was Phantom Blade Zero. It says, this is a new hack and slash RPG from S Game where players play as a soul, an elite assassin serving an elusive but powerful organization known simply as the Order. It has no release window, but it will come out on PS5. I really like the look of this one. It gave me Ghost of Tsushima vibes, which is a game I really enjoyed, PlayStation
Mhm.
exclusive. And I love like feudal Japan or samurai type settings in general.
Mhm.
I'm a little worried that the hack and slash might lean a little Soulsborne-y, just based on the trailer.
Yeah.
But it could also just be very fast paced, like Devil May Cry, too.
Yeah.
Or Bayonetta. It doesn't always, but a lot of things kind of adopted the Soulsborne combat system because it works, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're as hard as a Soulsborne game. It just means that they have a combat system that focuses on blocking and dodging, which is fair, you know. What'd you think of this one?
Um. Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if it would be something that I would play, but the overall presentation was good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I really enjoyed it. I like
Um,
hack and slash. Yeah, I mean,
so
I might give it a shot.
So the next thing that they showed was Sword of the Sea, which when it first
Yes.
popped up, I thought was going to be Journey 2.
Right,
Like
yeah.
that was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, oh, is this another
This
a
looks like
sequel to Journey?
Journey. Yeah.
But that's because it's the same people. Well, some of the same development team. it's a new team, Giant Squid, but like the people on their team worked on games like Journey, Abzu, and The Pathless, and I've played all three of those, and they are all amazing.
Okay.
With beautiful visuals. This one is definitely going to be a day one purchase for me. It is. It looks amazing. You're sand surfing on a sword. What's not to love about that? You know?
Right.
Oh my god! Did you play Journey?
Yeah, I played it over at your place a while ago.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I don't know if you ever had the chance to try Abzu or The Pathless, but my god, these amazing games. Abzu especially, that one is like all underwater and is beautiful. Beautiful game. So I could tell just by the trailer that this one is going to be a feast for the eyes. Next, they showed the Talos Principle 2, which is a sequel to a very interesting, kind of difficult puzzle game from back in the day. Um, it greatly expands on the beloved original with more mind bending puzzles to solve, new puzzle mechanics, a richer storyline, more secrets to uncover, and the biggest, weirdest world Crow Team has ever built. I played some of the original one. I found it rather difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really cool concept because you're like running around as this little robot, like using lasers to try and solve puzzles. You're like setting these things in different places to try and guide the laser through this maze, and then they had other stuff going on too. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I do remember like that first area, and
Okay.
I got stuck immediately. I could probably go back to it now because I'm better at that kind of stuff now, but back then it was hard.
Hmm.
I'll put this one on my radar, but it's not like a day one purchase for me or anything, you know.
Right. All right. So the next one that they announced was Neva. This reminded me of almost like a really like dark like mythology type cartoon. This Neva is a new title from Grizz developer Namada Studio and is coming in 2024. Will also be on PC, Switch, and Xbox Series X and S. It features a young woman and her lifelong bond with a magnificent wolf as they embark on a thriving adventure through a dying world. It was an interesting presentation.
It was a very sad trailer.
Very, yeah, like
Yeah.
it was emotional, but it was good. I like it.
And that's crazy for Devolver Digital. They have such a wide variety of stuff that they do, and I can't wait to see what their presentation is going to be at Summer Game Fest this year because they always put on a very wacky Adult Swim style show.
Yeah,
Oh, I love the art style for this game, by the way.
yeah. Oh yes.
And I've played Grizz, however the hell you say it, and um, yeah, I expect nothing less than a very melancholy but beautiful experience from this because Grizz is a game that is a meta, like the entire game is a metaphor for depression.
Oh
So,
jeez.
oh, but it's such a great game. It's such an amazing, beautiful game
All
too.
right.
You know, and I just feel like Neva is gonna have some like thematic elements and some deep stuff going on. I think.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So this next one, I'm actually really excited for this one. It looks like more of a kids game. It looks like something I would really like sit down and play with my daughter. Cat Quest: Pirates of the Caribbean. The only way to describe the presentation It was essentially a gameplay trailer. It looks genuinely looks like something I would sit down and play with my 4-year-old and have a blast with it.
Well, I don't have a kid to hide behind, so I'll straight up tell you, I'll play this on my own.
Oh, I'm not necessarily hiding behind my kid. I'll straight up play this without her.
Yeah, it does look fun. It does look like one of those games that you're like, oh man, I only got like 40 minutes of time to game. What do I? Oh, I'll just turn on this goofy little thing for a little bit, beat a
That.
couple of levels. Because it's going to be like a mobile game kind of
Yeah.
experience, And, I like to call those bite-sized games. You can sit down and, make a lot of progress in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you
And
take this next one, too?
yeah, this next one, I really okay. So I've always loved the work that Square Enix does, even though I don't necessarily uh m- like play any of the Final Fantasy games because I know that's a big one for Square Enix. But Kingdom
It
Hearts,
is. It's the franchise that saved them from bankruptcy.
I
Uh,
believe it. I believe
just
it.
a well, it's a fun little fact for you. The reason it's called Final Fantasy is because back when they were SquareSoft and they first made that first Final Fantasy game for the Nintendo or the Famicom or whatever, they were going under, and it was their last attempt to save themselves, and so they called it their Final Fantasy, as in their Final Fantasy game, and it saved them. And now,
Oh, that makes
and
sense.
now here we are years later, and it's been 16 Final Fantasies.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, Foam Stars, done by Square Enix. A new Splatoon-like party shooter is releasing on PS4 and PS5 in 2024.
I
This,
said that shit, didn't I? I said it was like Splatoon. I
it
said
was,
that when we were watching it.
yeah, this game looks like so much fun.
It is. It's Splatoon
I
with
can't,
foam instead of ink.
we need to do a Let's Play with this one.
I'd play it. Yeah,
We need to do a Let's Play with this one.
yeah, it's got your modern multiplayer visuals that Fortnite popularized. That's the graphic style they're going for. But the gameplay is 100% Splatoon, just with
Oh,
foam.
for sure. Yeah.
That's like I can tell, and it's that fun party foam.
Hmm.
Yeah, the game looks fun. It does look genuinely fun, but I wouldn't play it with strangers because you already know people are gonna like no life and try hard and sweaty the shit out of this.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to have my experience ruined by those people. you know,
Right.
this is a
Yeah.
game to play with friends.
Exactly.
Or at least play with two friends on the same team and you guys can go up against random strangers together. Like, that's what me, Dylan, and Ryan did for Knockout City, that dodgeball game. The three
Oh,
of us
there you
teamed up.
go.
And it was more fun. And we live streamed our sessions and it was more fun. Okay, so I get this next one that they showed is another Devolver Digital game called the Plucky Squire. It's been revealed before, but they showed a new trailer for it and it's coming later this year. And it looks like you play as like a toy squire in this kind of like 3D environment, kid's bedroom, almost Toy Story like, but the rub here is that you can jump into like books or other drawings, like anything made of paper, and you become like a cartoon crayon drawing or whatever. And it seems to almost have some like RPG elements. It's like almost Paper Mario-ish in a way.
Almost gives me Little Big Planet vibes.
That too. I'm definitely interested because, like, I'm a sucker for a good 3D platformer, and I feel like they have a very unique concept going here.
Yeah,
And
they do.
there's something
Like
very
it.
special. there's something very special about Devolver Digital in the way that they make their games. So I
I'd play the shit
definitely,
out of this game.
yeah. This one's definitely on my list.
This next one, Teardown,
Yeah,
reminded me. Like, I didn't even think that it would be necessarily like a new game. I thought it was gonna be like a more gritty version of Minecraft, geared more towards adults.
it does have that. It does have that. It's almost like that. I would argue that Minecraft is a little more pixely, and this one is a little more voxely. Um,
Yeah,
this one is more voxel art. Also, the thing about Minecraft is that in Minecraft, literally everything is a cube or square shaped. Like everything, even people's heads and shit. But in this trailer, I saw some stuff that was kind of rounded, you
yeah,
know?
I did too.
So then Minecraft doesn't have rounded edges in it. So it's in the ballpark, but I was trying to think if there was another game I could actually compare it to more. But it looks like it's just an open world destruction game more than anything.
Yeah, came in
And
like a wrecking ball.
apparently it's already on
Yes.
PC and it's very popular over there, so they're bringing it to consoles.
Right. Yeah, no, I'd play it.
Okay,
All
okay,
right.
that's
This.
well. That makes one of us anyway. I would watch someone else play it. Like if Markiplier did a Let's Play, I would watch him play
Oh
it. I don't
yes,
know.
absolutely.
So the next thing they showed, I was not expecting, caught me way off guard when I first saw the trailer. I didn't think this is where it was going, but it is a full-fledged from the ground up remake to Metal Gear Solid 3, and they're calling it Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. And Man, if you know, you know, but Metal Gear Solid 3 is probably the best game in the whole franchise, at least to me, so I'm definitely excited. Stealth based, tactical espionage stuff. You're a special ops operative, you're going through the jungle, taking out a list of bosses, yada yada. You can choose to be lethal or choose to be non lethal, however you want to go about it. I got the Platinum Trophy in the HD remaster of 3 on the
You
PS3. Yes,
nice.
so yeah, that took a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it. So I'm excited for this. My only problem is that the master behind the original, Hideo Kojima, is not involved because he doesn't work with Konami anymore. So I'm scared that they might fuck it up. I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm going to go into it with cautious optimism
Yeah.
for sure.
See, this game wouldn't necessarily be for me for a few reasons. One, I've never played any of the other Metal Gear Solid games. Two, the word snake is in the title. And I have the phobia for snakes, ophidiophobia, and it wouldn't necessarily be something that I think that I'd be able to play, to be honest. That would totally like be the only deal breaker for me is the fact
Well,
that it's got snakes in it. Like, dude, I don't even think you're like you realize the gravity of the situation here. Like, fucking when that snake popped out of the water, I saw it poking its head out, but when it popped out, I jumped out of my skin, bro. I shit you not. I shit you not, bro.
it wasn't
Like,
even meant. It wasn't even meant to be a jump scare, but
I'm
I get it.
aware. But someone with ophidiophobia, that's gonna scare anybody.
I will say, to be fair though, um, to be fair though, you also don't like stealth games that much, if I'm
That
remembering correctly.
okay, so there's only one stealth game that I can really say that I really enjoy. And it's because it's got a lot of Norse mythology in it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
No, that doesn't count because you don't have to play it stealthily.
I
I'm talking about
know.
games. I'm talking about games where stealth is the core element. If you had said one of the original Assassin's Creeds, that would count. But those new ones are open world RPGs where you can just hack and slash everything.
You're
That's not
not
the same.
wrong. You're not
You know
wrong.
the new
That one doesn't even feel like an Assassin's Creed game.
But yeah, I get it. I will say, to your first point, Metal Gear Solid 3 is actually technically the first one in the series, chronologically speaking.
Is it?
It's yes, it's actually the first one story-wise. They
Okay.
did them out of order. Like Devil May Cry. And yeah, I would say that Snake being in the title is specifically because the code name of the character is Snake. You know, like in the first Metal Gear Solid, it was Solid Snake. He's a very popular character. He's in Smash Bros. You know, but the name is actually kind of literal because you do eat snakes in the game.
Jesus Christ.
You shoot them, you kill them, and you eat them to restore your health. I was
Gotcha.
eating snakes
Okay.
in the Resident Evil 4 remake as well. So sometimes you'd smash a box and a snake would jump out, and then you could shoot it and eat it. So, yeah. So those are all very fair points. But also Metal Gear Solid is a very niche. It's popular, but it's also niche. Like it's Kojima has a dedicated base of fans, and
Yeah.
like Death Stranding, when it came out, was a very divisive game, and I loved it. I thought it was super creative and unique, but definitely not for everyone. It's I don't know. It was weirdly peaceful. I don't know why. The next thing they showed, I have no idea how to pronounce. It's Towers of Agshaba, I think.
Yeah.
But it's an adventure game about rebuilding civilization and restoring exotic ecosystems, which is always a nice thing. Like that's
Yeah.
I love when a developer puts their heart and their hopes for the future into their games, you know? They're like it's clear that this game was made by people who care about the environment because it's all about rebuilding ecosystems, you know, exotic ones at that.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
It's definitely the kind of thing that I want to try before I buy. You know, like give me a demo or put it on PlayStation Plus or something. I want to see.
Right. Yeah.
Like I want to try it, but I don't know if I'm dedicated yet, you know. The next thing we got was a new trailer for Final Fantasy 16, which I was happy to see, but I didn't need because I'm already sold on it. Like I've seen they've focused on this one a lot this year. Like they had a whole state of play dedicated to it. They've shown trailers for it in like every state of play or major gaming event that's happened this year. They showed a trailer for it at last year's Game Awards. Like I'm ready. Let's just bring me the end of June so I can play it already.
I might actually play this one.
Oh, really?
Yes, like okay, so you know how like I mean I technically should play some of the other ones too because I play Kingdom Hearts with no issues, and it's just I really had no interest in the Final Fantasy games.
I mean, that's
I mean,
fair.
I would always enjoy watching you play.
I don't know if you could, at this point, if you didn't already have the love for them, go back to the classic turn-based ones, or yada yada. Like, 10 is my favorite, and even that one I would recommend cautiously at this point. Just because the combat is fully turn-based, but it does have an amazing story. But I would say if you're more into the action-based combat, try 15 or the 7 remake.
Okay.
Because those are action combat. They modernized it. So, and 15 is also like very open world, and it's kind of like a bromance road trip kind of story. This one, 16, looks to be basically all medieval.
Yeah,
times.
I like it.
And the summons in this one, or as they're called in this one, econs, are giant kaiju monsters that fight each other that you control while they're doing it in a kind of like fighting game style battle, But it also looks like you'll also be playing as the regular character, doing your normal running around and fighting and stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. I think that this is going to be one of the games that really truly shows off the what these new consoles can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to play. I think I do want to play Final Fantasy 16.
Nice. I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts if and when you do.
Yeah.
And then after this, we got a new trailer for Alan Wake 2, which I was very happy to see because we haven't seen a lot of this yet. And the first Alan Wake I played, I loved. It was originally an Xbox 360 exclusive. A story about a guy who is a writer, Alan Wake, and he writes horror stories. And him and his wife go on vacation, and suddenly he finds himself trapped inside one of his own stories, basically. But it's a story that he doesn't even remember writing. He finds the pages of it as he's running around. His wife disappears. These shadow people start showing up, and he has to use a flashlight and a gun to fend them off. It's a third-person survival horror adventure game. You have to manage the batteries for your flashlight and the ammo for your gun, but that's basically it. And you get health packs to heal. It's very classic, but they remastered it a few years ago and re-released it on PlayStation and Xbox and all that. So there is a PS4 or PS5 version of Alan Wake, the first one. And anyone who is a fan of Stephen King stuff should definitely play Alan Wake. It's definitely got vibes of a Stephen King horror story.
Okay. Is it choice based?
No. It is just full on. You're going from point A to point B and shooting the bad guys as they try to kill you.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's boss battles. There's occasional boss battles. Like one of the boss battles in the first game is a fight against a possessed tractor. I'm not shitting you. Yeah, it gets a little wild. And there is a band called Poets of the Fall. Really good band who plays a fake band in the game called The Old Gods of Asgard. And they have a couple of very, very popular songs like The Poet and the Muse. And they also feature in a game called Control, which takes place in the same universe as Alan Wake. So Remedy's games all tie together. So I'm very excited for Alan Wake 2 to see how it wraps up the story of Alan and everything that happened at the end of the first game, and everything that happened in Control that tied into it as well. Plus, I just love my horror games. So, and this one's coming out in October, which is the perfect time for it as well.
Exactly.
I know you have this is a game that you would have to play or watch the first one in order to enjoy this one. It's going to play off of that stuff, I did do a Let's Play of it if you're interested.
Okay.
And then they showed Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I already knew was going to be a thing because Ubisoft announced it during an Assassin's Creed anniversary thing. They are doing a bunch of different things with Assassin's Creed. They're doing like an Assassin's Creed horror game called Assassin's Creed Hex. Takes place during like the Salem witch trials. They're doing another open world RPG that takes place in feudal Japan. I forgot what they're going to call that one. And then there's this one, Assassin's Creed Mirage, coming out this year, which is them returning to the roots of their series, back to the congested cities with the parkour and the stealth. And I couldn't be more excited for it. I'm super glad. I did enjoy these new ones. I like that they took a refreshing route. But I'm ready to get back to the classic style of gameplay. I definitely missed it since the Ezio trilogy.
Okay, no, The one that they're doing that's based around the Salem witch trials, I would totally play that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm interested to hear more about it about
Oh yeah,
that one.
most definitely.
But this one is the first one that's coming out of all the ones they announced, and it's coming out this year in October as well. Fucking October, November is the biggest time for games to come out because they want everyone to buy them for Christmas. So
Hmm.
the fall season is going to be chock full of new releases, and I'm realizing I'm just going to have to start saving up now.
That.
You know. But I'm super excited for this one.
Didn't understand this next one. Revenant Hill. Revenant Hill is the new game, the Gloom Society co-op that has worked on games like Night in the Woods. And strangely enough, 2016's Doom, this title about a cat named Twigs trying to make ends meet, is coming to PS4 and PS5 sometime in the future.
That's what I got out of the trailer. From what I could see, you play as a cat, and
Yeah.
I figured this was from the Night in the Woods people because I saw the cat, like the art style of the cat. I was like,
Hmm.
this looks like Night in the Woods, and
Hmm.
sure enough, because you play as a cat in that one too, it's just anthropomorphic. In this one, you play as an actual cat.
Hmm.
Um, and you know what? You had me at playing as a cat. So,
Right.
and, his name is Twigs. Yeah, sure, I'll go for it. um, Night in the Woods was really popular, so I have faith in these developers. So was 2016's Doom, for that matter.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I have faith in these developers, and I would definitely give this a go. It's on my radar. You know, some of these are like day one purchases, and others are like ones I'm going to put on my wish list and buy them on sale. You know.
Oh, this next one, I might actually play this one. The Grand Blue Fantasy Relink co-op action RPG is coming to PS4, PS5, and PC in winter of 2023. I like the how colorful it is, how vibrant it is.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that alone, along with the fact that it's got a lot of like decent, awesome looking characters in it, looks all around it looks good.
Yes. I know that some people are going to say that it probably looks like every other generic JRPG out there, but for me, that's a selling point.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, if it looks like a JRPG, I'm probably going to want to play it. You know?
Hmm.
So yeah, this one is another one of those throw it on my wish list, buy it on sale, or rent from GameFly kind of games. Like, I'm
Yeah.
definitely at least going to try it.
Oh yeah. This next one I'm especially excited for because when they announced it at first, before this was wild. This was back just a few months ago, actually. Um, One of the current active WWE superstars is going to be featured in Street Fighter 6. Her name is Zelina Vega, and I don't know which character she's being portrayed as. Give me 1 second, I can look that up. Oh, she's not even a playable character. She's the color commentator.
Oh, okay. But her voice, that means her voice is in the game.
Yeah, her voice is in the game. She will be featured in the game.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. No, I'm genuinely excited. Besides that little tidbit there, I am genuinely excited for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, people really enjoyed Street Fighter 5 when it came out.
Yeah.
Um, but it was also made a lot more accessible for a wider audience. From what I hear, this one is kind of like go back to the Street Fighter 4 way of doing things.
Yeah.
Um, okay, yeah, you'll have to tell me what you think of it because, unfortunately, these types of fighting games aren't my thing. I like cross brawlers like Smash Bros. And
Yeah.
PlayStation All Stars, but traditional fighting games like this and Mortal Kombat and Tekken and those Dead or Alive, not really my thing. Um,
Fair enough.
yeah, Mortal Kombat. I'm always excited for a new one um, because I can go on YouTube and watch all the fatalities. That's what I care
Right.
about.
The
you know,
fatalities. Yes.
you know, it's pretty messed up because like for these newer games where those fatalities got super gruesome, because of the modern graphics and stuff, they actually had to people on the development team had to like go look at pictures of like actual like real mangled bodies and shit to get the anatomy correct. And I'm like, oh man, imagine what that like. I know they're doing it like for the art and stuff, but that's got to take a toll on your psyche, you know.
Oh yeah, most
Uh,
definitely.
having to look at that shit. Um, but yeah, I know like everybody else I know really enjoys fighting games, so there's definitely I'm excited for you guys on this one.
Yeah, this next one, Ultros. I I'm not even gonna lie. That looks like this straight up like acid trip.
Yeah, it was very neon-y, isn't it? I
Yeah,
actually
dude. Like I was tripping.
I saw a
Like,
few people say
oh,
I saw a few people say they had a hard time watching this trailer because it like gave
it
them a
was
headache or hurt their
so
eyes.
trippy.
I didn't I didn't have that problem with it myself, but I can see why some people did. Um, but it's a Metroidvania style game, so it's gonna be like in
Almost
the
like
style of like
it's the
Hollow Knight, you know.
it's the same company that worked on Hotline Miami.
Well, the art is from the person who worked on Hotline Miami, which definitely shows.
Yeah.
The graphic style is from the person who did the visual art for Hotline Miami. So that
Okay.
yeah, I could see that. But
Yeah.
the gameplay itself, it's gonna play like a Metroidvania. You know those 2D side scrollers where you have to like go through multiple maps to find things and then
Yeah, like
go back to
Sonic the
other places.
Hedgehog.
No, Sonic is a 2D side scroller. It's more like Hollow Knight or Spelunky.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Those kind of games. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, this next one's definitely up my alley. Tower of Fantasy. It's a cyberpunk open world RPG. It looks JRPG ish, but I like cyberpunk and I like open world RPGs, so I'm probably gonna like this.
Yeah.
um, you know, I'm always again. It's one of those probably throw it on my GameFly rental, or if it's digital only, buy it on sale. I want to try it at least. Put it on my radar for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now, Dragon's Dogma 2 was the next one on the list.
yes.
I never played the first Dragon's Dogma. Just based on this trailer, makes me want to go back and play it and prepare for this one. Because I actually really like the visual graphics on this game, and I like the style.
Yeah. Dragon's Dogma was like a kind of open world ish Western RPG. So like high fantasy
Yeah,
style.
I liked that
Um,
they had like the okay, so I like it when they bring in like the fantasy things like
yes.
like the animals that are like walking and talking like people.
Yeah, that race of cat people is actually new to this sequel. They weren't in the first one, if I remember correctly. Um,
Okay. No, this
so
definitely
it
looks
might be
like it'd be
taking place in
something.
a different area.
It's definitely something right up my alley.
Um, it's entirely possible that it's like a completely different story too. Like you may not have to play the first one in order to enjoy this one. It may just be taking place in a new area with new characters.
Oh yeah,
Um, More of an
definitely.
anthology, like in the same world, but in like a different part of that world. You know.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm interested. I never finished the first one, but my mom, she loved it, and she's definitely excited for this. She is among those groups of people. There's been like a group of people that have been like begging Capcom for a Dragon's Dogma 2 for like years. And
Yeah.
now they finally have it. Now it's finally a thing that they're gonna
Yep.
do, you know.
Hmm.
Um and
Uh,
it's been like hinted in stuff before, but this is the first like official confirmation of its existence.
yeah.
But one of the unique concepts of the first Dragon's Dogma is that summon pawns from other characters' games. It didn't have like multiplayer or anything like that, but like you had like I can't remember if they were like spirits or something like that, but they're called pawns, like little characters that follow you around and fight with you and stuff. And
Yeah.
you can summon pawns from like if you have someone on your friends list that plays the game, you can borrow their pawns and bring them into your game.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
that kind of thing. So I wonder if this will have the same mechanic.
I don't know. So this next one, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. I've never played any of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, but I am excited to see the movie. Before they announced the title of this Five Nights at Freddy's game, I knew it was Five Nights at Freddy's the moment I saw Freddy on one of the posters in that little room that you start that the trailer started on. But I was
Yeah.
wondering if they were gonna do Five Nights at Freddy's the movie, the game.
Oh, probably not necessary because the movie is already based off the lore that's been established across several games.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's
From what
true.
I can see. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one when it came out, but I've watched people play them and I've seen that they get better gameplay wise as it goes. They started getting more creative, especially with Sister Location. It
Yeah.
stopped being about it stopped being about just sitting in one room the whole time, and it actually started being more move around. And then they had one that came out last year that was just a straight up full on walk around freely horror game. Um, I can't remember what that one was called, but Help Wanted was a the first one came out for the original PSVR, and
Yeah.
it was basically, yeah, just like a rehash of like some of the most popular moments from different Five Nights games, but redone in VR. This one seems to be like it's going to have more original content in it.
Oh yeah.
And since it's going to be on the PSVR 2, there's going to be stuff that you have to use your hands for and
Oh
interact
yeah,
with because it's
absolutely.
got hand controls. Um, I I'm probably this is one I'm probably gonna end up watching someone play because even though I'm for sure getting the PSVR 2 eventually, Five Nights at Freddy's just isn't. At this point, I'm more content to watch people play it rather than play it myself.
Right.
However, this next one, Resident Evil 4 Remake in VR, I would definitely play. Which is crazy because I own the VR version of the original Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus Quest, and
Hmm.
every time I get to the village and I know that it's going to be the part where the chainsaw guy is, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this part in VR, you know? Um, but I would actually be more willing to do it in the remake because the modernized controls would make it easier, I think. Even though
Yeah.
the better graphics would make it scarier. Because from what I heard, the PSVR 2 has 4K resolution or something close to that per eye. So you're
Yeah.
getting like, and it's got a higher frame rate than the original, so it significantly cuts down on like things like motion sickness and shit like that. Um, but it also makes for a more realistic experience. So,
Yeah.
especially with the hand controls, and the hand
Hmm.
controls have joysticks on them now, like the Oculus Quest, so you don't have to choose between controller or hands anymore. Now you get both.
Yeah.
The next one, Arizona Sunshine 2, I have the
Yeah.
original. It's a zombie survival game in VR in the desert. I have the original on the PSVR. I played some of it, not a lot of it, because it did get a little frustratingly difficult at times.
That.
But what was interesting about it is that depending on what type of controller you were using, that would determine what kind of gun you had in the game. You would get a different gun for using a regular controller, or the Move controllers, or the gun shaped controller that they put out for uh, Farpoint, the VR shooter gun controller. I have it. Um, Whichever one you used, it would give you a different gun in this game. So
Nice.
I wonder how they're gonna handle that with this one, considering that the PSVR 2 only has one set of controls. You know, the hand
Right.
controls with the joysticks. Um, but from what I saw from this trailer, it basically just looked like more of the same.
Yeah.
I I can tell you for sure that I love me some VR stuff, but these next two things, Crossfire Sierra Squad and Synapse, as much as I love VR, these ones aren't so much for me. I don't think. Um,
Yeah. I don't.
Crossfire Sierra Squad. They both look impressive. Oh, and I'm sure they'd be super fun in VR, but you know, because even like the most boring or unlikable genres can be like way better in VR just because it's a more immersive experience.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's Crossfire Sierra Squad basically just seems like it's gonna be, your regular multiplayer army shooter type experience.
Yeah.
And Synapse looks like it's kind of an upgrade from Super Hot, which was a really cool and unique experience, but way too hard for me.
Enough.
um, and this one seems like it might be very difficult too. But then they showed Beat Saber is getting a Queen pack, songs by Queen being added to the DLC.
Yes.
And apparently the game is out now on PSVR 2. Like it came out right after the announcement. So
Nice.
Beat Saber is now on PSVR 2, and there is a new music pack for it, music from Queen. I already have Beat Saber on the original PSVR. It works well enough on there. I don't see a need to upgrade to the new version, but I am buying that Queen pack. you know,
Right.
Absolutely.
That marathon. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really have any input.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a series by Bungie, and they have a good track record with things like
Halo and
Halo and
Destiny, which is
Destiny.
speaking
Yeah,
of Destiny,
yeah,
that was the next one. Destiny 2, the Final Shape expansion.
yeah, yeah. A character that's been gone for a long time is returning, and a lot of people are excited about that. I have some friends who are into this franchise, and they were head over heels for this trailer. um, it's the final expansion, I think. If I'm reading um, if I'm understanding the meaning behind the trailer correctly, this is the last like major update they're gonna do for this game.
Yeah.
So, oh, I can imagine that's gonna be a day that they're gonna have to put the servers on overdrive.
Yes, absolutely. Concord was interesting. I don't really have much to say about that one either.
It's a PvP shooter, which is just typical multiplayer stuff. From what I could tell, it was a cinematic trailer for the most part, so I didn't really get a lot out of it, except that you might be in a vehicle, you know, like I don't think it's, I don't know if it's like run and gun. I get the feeling that you're in some kind of like weird cyber tank. Like, they didn't show enough. I would have to see more before I can really say much on it. That's the problem with Marathon too. Marathon didn't really show a lot in its trailer, and
No.
it's one of those things where I do need to see more. I mean, I trust Bungie. They haven't done any wrong so far, and the visuals look good for that
Yes.
one too.
Now, I will say this next thing that these next two items that they announced, the PlayStation Project Q and the PlayStation Earbuds. Now, I'm curious as to how the earbuds would work. Would they
Bluetooth.
be able to be paired with a PlayStation to be
Bluetooth.
used for like online gaming?
They'll use,
Or
yeah.
that would only make sense. That would be perfect for like when I ever have my daughter and I don't feel like wearing my Pulse 3D wireless headset that I bought for the PlayStation 5. Instead of having my headset, I could just have one earbud in, still be able to keep an eye on my daughter without drowning her out.
There you go. Yeah, there's
It's one
definitely a
earbud.
use for that. Um, and the Project Q,
The Project Q,
it's not,
definitely something I'm gonna have to get at some
it's
point.
not a new handheld. It's not like the Vita 2 or anything.
That is on my wish list.
what it
Both items, actually.
what it is a remote play device for the PS5, so that you can basically play your PS5 games through the internet on this device anywhere you go.
No, it's almost like the backbone that they have that you can use with your like smartphone device.
Yeah,
Basically use it for remote play, but it's specifically designed by PlayStation this time
the
around,
Backbone is too.
and
The
it's
Backbone is a licensed PlayStation product.
really
Yep, because they just announced an Android version a couple days ago.
nice. Yeah, they've got it.
Um,
I know it was specifically made for iPhone for a while. They had been talking about doing an Android version for a long time now.
but this is basically a remote play device. Like, it's designed
Yeah,
specifically to remote play
for
your
remote play.
PS5 games anywhere you go.
Yeah.
That there's internet. You know, you can stream. That
Hmm.
way, you don't have to take your PS5 with you to play your PS5 games on the go. You know,
Exactly.
um, wherever wherever you want to go.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, very interesting product lineup. And then, of course, that wasn't the end of the show. Oh no, they saved the best
Oh,
for last.
they absolutely fucking did. Yes.
We got like 10 minutes of gameplay
Oh my
for
god, dude.
Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that shit was amazing. Oh my
Yeah, no pun
god.
intended.
Yeah, pun had very heavily intended.
Oh, okay.
Pun very heavily intended there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. I was very confused by what I saw
Oh
at
my
first
god.
because it
I
didn't
was
look like
like, oh, I need to go back and play the Spider-Man remastered and then Spider-Man Miles Morales. Dude, I binge played through both of those games in less than a month.
Oh yeah, they are great. And I got the platinum in the first one. I didn't go back and get the platinum in Miles Morales yet, but it's on my list of to-dos eventually.
Oh my god, I need to go back and play those in preparation for this. Dude, I got so excited because you can switch between Miles and Peter.
Yeah, it looks like you can do that during some of the open world stuff, but it also, I get the feeling that some missions are going to be like you have to do them as as one of them. Like
Yeah. Yep.
some missions are only for Miles, and some missions are only for Peter.
I think that's how this is gonna go too. I'm genuinely super excited for this new
Yeah.
Spider-Man game.
So
Absolutely.
it was confusing at first because it didn't look like Spider-Man at first,
No,
but
it
that's
didn't.
because we got
I don't know
an
why.
interesting reveal.
We did. We really did.
Kraven the Hunter is the villain.
Yep.
And did you see some of those characters' faces that popped up when he was opening the map?
It did. One of them was Spider-Man.
Several of them were, well, at least two of them were Spider-Man, but those are all heroes and villains in New York that he's hunting down. Okay, so I have the trailer pulled up now, and I'm looking at the part where he pulls up the map, and I'm watching it on slow speed, and the faces on the map are Black Cat, Prowler, that's the one I thought looked like Deadpool, Prowler. That's,
Okay.
Yeah, you remember him, right?
I think so.
Did you ever see the first Into the Spider-Verse movie?
Yes, I actually ended up buying it, and it was a drunken purchase on New Year's Eve because I wanted to watch Spider-Man while I was drunk.
Well, that was a very interesting movie to watch drunk because it's got comic book style visuals and they move at a low frame rate on purpose.
Yeah, dude, it was so trippy.
Okay, but also the other names coming up: Wraith,
Wraith, okay.
Tombstone, Spider-Man, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? The other Spider-Man, Miles. Okay, so Black Cat, Prowler, Wraith, Tombstone, and both the Spider-Men are the names that popped up, or the faces that popped up on the map.
Okay.
Oh, there's another one at the very end, Lizard.
Lizard. Yeah, he is in the game.
And Taskmaster. Yeah, he was in one of the other ones too. And there was one more that I couldn't see very well. But okay. So Kraven, his name is Kraven the Hunter for a reason. He's coming after them. He's coming after everyone on that map. That's the whole.
Aren't they doing a Kraven the Hunter movie?
Yes, with Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter.
Man, I want to see that.
He played Kick-Ass in the Kick-Ass movies, and he played.
He did, didn't he?
And he played Quicksilver in the MCU in Age of Ultron.
He sure did. Okay.
So he's going to be Kraven the Hunter in the extended Spider-Man universe, which basically Sony has taken advantage of the MCU having a multiverse and basically said that all of their Spider-Man villain movies that they're doing, like Venom, Morbius, Kraven, all that, all take place in like an alternate Spider-Man universe that runs parallel to the MCU. Is what they're basically saying. Okay. So they're doing that because that way, if they ever want to use Tom Holland, they can, because Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man before Marvel does. It's only because of their deal that they can do that. So
exactly.
So at least to that version anyway. But yeah, or like the game and movie rights. Basically is what they own. So
actually, kind of glad they started putting all the Spider-Man movies onto Disney Plus finally.
Yes, very good move on their part, especially because a lot of them are important to the overall MCU narrative.
Yes, very much so.
So especially the No Way Home one. So okay, well, that was everything in the PlayStation Showcase. We covered all of it. Overall, I think they put on a pretty good show, even though not everything they showed is something that I'm gonna play, or, you know, I'll try it and might not like it, but I definitely feel like they did a good job having a large variety of games. You know, like I said before, there was something there for everyone, and it was visually pleasing to look at. But also, the pacing was good because they started off kind of small and slow, and they built up to bigger and bigger things until they just kind of boom with a big finale.
Balls to the walls with Spider-Man 2.
So it was definitely, it was like a fireworks show. Start off small and work your way up to the bigger stuff.
The grand finale was the Spider-Man
And
Spider-Man
what was also smart about it is whenever Jim Ryan came on screen, it wasn't a bunch of corporate or PR speak. It was just like a very, very down to earth kind of, like welcome to the show, please enjoy, that kind of thing. So they didn't throw a bunch of patronizing jargon at us. It was a very
direct.
Accessible.
Yeah, it was very direct.
And not only that, but like, VR is cool and all, but but it's also a little alienating because it's not for everyone. So another thing that even I, as a VR fan, appreciate is that they had a whole section of the show dedicated to it, but they zipped through it. It wasn't like a lingering or long-lasting thing. It was very condensed, and it was kind of quick fire, pop, 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 pop. All right, VR's done. On to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, and they saved it for like close to the end too, instead of putting it out in the beginning. So that to me shows that they know how to put this stuff together really well. And the transitions between each trailer with the different PlayStation logos and stuff were really cool.
That was really cool.
So, I'm gonna give this a letter grade, and we usually give like movies like a number grade. I'm gonna give this a letter grade because it's not a movie. It seems more appropriate for this kind of thing. I'm teetering between like a B+ and an A-. I don't really know where I fall on those yet. What do you think?
Given the transition and the way they did things, like you said, it was a fireworks show. An A+. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Yes, I'm going to give it an A+.
Okay, that's fair. I think I would give it. I do have one thing, and this is why I think I would give it an A-. But here's why: because I didn't need the Gran Turismo trailer again. I'd seen it in the theaters. I'd seen it on YouTube and stuff. It was already well-known information, and it was just the same trailer we'd already seen. It didn't really add anything to the show. They could have used that slot for another game. I feel like it was a wasted slot.
Yeah, it was. A-. Yeah, you're right. I have to agree with you on that. I can't even say that like. Yeah, you are right on that. Yeah, the Gran Turismo trailer definitely could have been filled with another game. That slot definitely, yeah.
But that being said, we still have Summer Game Fest to look forward to, and although PlayStation's already done their thing, that doesn't mean they're completely absent. The Summer Game Fest will kick off with a opening night live hosted by Jeff Keighley, and that is going to feature games and announcements from everyone: PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC, and mobile.
Yes.
So it covers all of gaming.
We'll be doing an episode on the Summer Game Fest coverage as well.
Yes, we'll be covering all the stuff from Summer Game Fest, not just opening night live, but the Devolver Conference, the Xbox Conference, whatever Ubisoft is doing.
Yes.
All of it.
All of it.
So, yeah, look forward to that, because I know I am. But yeah, it was a good showcasing. Yeah, I guess I'll settle on an A-. I was still teetering towards B+ for a minute, but the more I think about now that I went down this list, I realized there was actually more stuff in there that I was excited for than I initially realized. Taking a second look at some of these things made me realize, I probably would like this. Really, there was only like 2 or 3 things in the whole show that weren't on my, maybe 4, but it seems like almost everything there was definitely for at least one of us. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So, but alright, well, that'll be it for this little bonus episode about the PlayStation Showcase. Thank you all so much for listening. Let me know your thoughts on the showcase in the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube, and remember to click that like button. If you're on Spotify, follow us. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating and review. As always, you can find me at Oversoul53 on Twitter, and here on YouTube at Oversoul Gaming.
You can find me on TikTok as the.vaping.themed. You can find me on the PlayStation as the Vaping Theme, and the same gamer tag on Twitch, the Vaping Theme, as well as Twitter. Yeah, no, that's where you can find me and where I follow what I've been doing and getting myself into.
Right. All right. Yeah. And we will see you all very soon in the next official numbered episode that'll be coming out.
Yes.
That we recorded a little while ago, but it'll be coming soon, about remakes, remasters, and reboots.
Yes.
So look forward to that, and then we'll be doing another episode after that one on the topic of hidden gems.
Yes.
So look forward to both of those coming at you very soon. Alright, well, thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Bye, everybody.